Nearly 40% of high school students enroll in music programs, but not every student gets a chance to play in a full symphony, with band and orchestra. Youth symphonies cost a lot of money, so adding one to our school would make it a very accessible way for kids to extend their musical knowledge. Learning how to play an instrument can help improve test scores, reduce stress, and give more opportunities to teenagers.
Music is beneficial to grades because of the effects it has on the brain. Music has shown to help stimulate the growth of reading, art, and the math area part of the brain, which has shown an increase in test scores over the years. According to the Youth Orchestra in Fresno, they have found that the effects of an instrumental music training on reading and cognitive development skills are also positively affected.
A symphony orchestra option could help students at East to have more brain functionality and to be less stressed out. All kinds of music impact the brain, but classical music has been proven to boost mathematical ability and lower stress and heart rates. According to Harvard, a 2010 review reported that learning to play an instrument may enhance the brain's ability to master tests involving language skills, memory, and attention. This is implying that learning an instrument could result in your brain functioning better overall, which could be beneficial to those in high school who are looking for an extracurricular class or activity like the symphony.
Adding a symphony is an elective that could have potential flaws, like taking up an extra elective that the student needs to graduate and the cost of actually owning an instrument. Many high schools have requirements for students to graduate, and those requirements can sometimes limit the students to what electives they are able to take. So adding the symphony can potentially put some students behind in their courses to graduate. If a student can plan and stay on task with their counselor, this will not be too big of a problem. The other flaw is the cost of owning and taking care of an instrument. Instruments are very expensive to buy and take care of because of all the materials you need. For some instruments, like the saxophone and clarinet, you need to have a constant supply of reeds. And for other instruments, like the trumpet, you need a valve brush in order to actually clean it. But all of these are easy to get and can sometimes be found on discount at certain stores.
Some ways that we can make this symphony elective a real thing is by forwarding all this information to the school board and our music directors here at Wauwatosa East. We can create an elective that students would have to sign up for. There will be 2 levels of it, and they will have 2 different hours. Everyone will have to try out before the school year begins, and they will either be placed in the regular group or the advanced. Even though this is a symphony class, there will still be the separate band and orchestra classes.
Wauwatosa East having a symphony orchestra would open up new opportunities for kids that take part in it. The high schoolers who do take the symphony orchestra class would consider it as a career and would take part in the music summer camps like Blue Lake, or they would audition for a larger audition-based symphony like MISO. Adult symphony orchestras are very important to the U.S. economy. Once teens have been exposed to symphony orchestras, they will be prepared for their adult musical lives. They will be accustomed to many of the things a normal orchestra or band wouldn't teach you, for example, the tuning session and the big rehearsals. They would also be prepared for auditions in their later life, as normal orchestra and band usually don't have an audition process. Adding a symphony to the school will allow students to be themselves and practice something they love. Sometimes people feel like outcasts because of their musical hobby. By including a symphony, we will be able to create a musical space for people with the same interests to meet and bond with each other. By challenging students to compete with each other, they can find their own musical abilities and their limits. This will be a great way for a student to find out their individual talent.
Adding a symphony elective at the school would be beneficial to everyone, the students and the school itself. The students that will be involved in a symphony will see an increase in their grades and health. They will be able to socialize with other people that are interested in the same topics. Wauwatosa East will see an increase in the students' test scores and an increase in attendance. The school will have a better sense of community as a whole.